Okay, so we have a really interesting topic and a really interesting guest coming up shortly. We've got comedian Olga Koch, who's going to give us an insight into dating, what excites people in the UK around dating. I'm sure a lot of people think of candlelit dinners and probably weekends away, but the research suggests that perhaps chores are the in thing. But give us a rundown on what they suggest, what the research. I find it a bit strange that people opting for chores, but maybe this is me.
So, overall, it's a very, very exciting trend. So I've been working with Plenty of Fish to uncover and research these dating trends, and it looks like 65% of are overplaying games and they're into romance. Uncovered was something called choremancing, which is when you go do your chores on your date. So if that means walking your dog or going to the gym or going to the grocery store, you combine and it's a win-win.
Absolutely. So, would that involve, for example, going on a date and one of the people sort of doing the chores and the other person sort of going out, or would they do it together type thing? I mean, I was thinking maybe you organise a date and one person can sort of, walk the dog, clean the house, and do whatever, and the other person can watch some sport on TV and go out and do whatever. Or are they doing it together?
Well, Jimmy, I would assume they'd be doing it together, but there's no right or wrong way to do choremancing. It's all about just being very honest and very authentic. And so, if watching sports on TV on a date is authentic to you, so be it.
Absolutely. Depends who's playing. If it's a big Champions League game or something like that, then I think I'd prefer to watch the match. But I'm sure others might think differently. But it sort of makes sense, as I suppose, like you said, there's people who do enjoy going for a walk and going to the gym and other stuff, having that sort of companionship there. But at what point does that happen? I mean, you mentioned there Plenty of Fish. I don't know a great deal about Plenty of Fish, but I'm guessing it's like, a dating app where people meet each other and organise a date. Would it be, say, a few months into the date? Would it be early on the first or second day? At what point would you say, okay, what should we do? Let's go to the gym or for a walk together type thing?
So we're seeing that earlier than ever. So there's a few trends that are suggesting this. So there is a trend that I really enjoy the name of, which is turbo dating. And turbo dating is all about being very direct right off the bat. And so I think coming into a conversation with a potential partner that let's say you meet on Plenty of Fish, and instead of sort of waffling about or talking about the weather, you're being very direct and very sort of clear about your intentions and what it is that you want. So you come out and you say, hey, do you want to grab a drink? What are you doing on Friday? So I think romancing is very much part of that, as in like, hey, I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, Olga, I lost you there a little bit, but yeah, I get what you mean. So, and there's the other thing too, as well. I suppose you could say, you're doing, say, something sort of productive too, really. And I suppose it's sort of, if you're going out, you're walking the dog, it's good for your health, your fitness. The dog's getting a walk as well. So there's that multi thing as well, isn't it?
um, which is which is dating someone that also has a pet or shares your love of animals. So we found that nearly a fifth of singles say they have dated somebody just based on their mutual love of animals. So you can really stack these trends on top of each other. So I urge everyone to get on Plenty of Fish, be very direct about what they want, and if what they want is to date a fellow pet lover and go dog walking together, then so be it. You've combined turbo dating, choremancing, and fur casting.
So in terms of Plenty of Fish, say, how does that work? Is that sort of, for those of us who don't know, who aren't familiar, I'm sure most people are, I don't know, but how does that kind of work? People sort of, they put a profile up and in a nutshell, Olga, what's the deal with Plenty of Fish?
So Plenty of Fish is a dating website And again, with trends that we're seeing, people are being more authentic and more straightforward than ever. So what you say in your profile, whether it's in your bio or in your photos, should be just a directive reflection of what it is that you want and what it is that you're into. So if you do have a dog, pop that dog into your profile. Let the people know.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's the sort of so people are aware of what you sort of your preferences are and that sort of stuff. But and sort of how do you sort of see this sort of going type thing? I mean, I suppose the dinner as well. It's one of them. It's sort of maybe sort of. I mean, I suppose there is a time and place for a candlelit dinner, but on the other side of things, maybe people. I suppose there's the argument too that you're probably going to get to know someone better in a more natural environment if you are sort of walking a dog, if you are sort of out there doing a chore and sort of just sitting down in a restaurant type thing.
Yeah, and I guess like choromancing is one of the trends that we've uncovered because on the other hand, there's something called retromancing, which is again maybe quite the opposite of choromancing, which is going back to the basics and the sort of classics of dating. We're talking about making someone a mixtape, holding doors open, opting for a phone call instead of a text message. So if you're more romantic than going to the gym or grocery run together, there's people out there for you as well. I think it's all about authenticity. It's all about being honest with what it is that you want and not pretending to be maybe chill or something that you're not.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So what was that again? Sorry, Olga. I sort of just for our listeners, what's the other in thing? What's it? You
It's
just
called
mentioned that.
retromancing.
So retromancing as well. So retromancing, let me just sort of just for our listeners and for myself. So retromancing, from my understanding of what you said there, it's kind of a bit more traditional in terms of what people might do to meet up and go on a date.
Yeah, and I think embracing that as well. So not just going to dinner, but also sort of making a song and dance of it, and being very intentional, and being very romantic about it. So what's really interesting to me is that over a third of Gen Z singles actually wanted to get into retromancing. So they were really excited about the idea of phone calls over text. They were excited about homemade meals and just really embracing romance, which I think is something we expect of Gen Z. Yet here we are.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I suppose sort of going off track a little bit type thing, and people like, for example, using apps to meet people now. I mean, many years ago, it probably was a sort of stigma around it. These days, people live busy lives, and the internet's a big part of people's lives. So it's more, I'm guessing it's more a thing type thing. But I mean, if someone like, for example, might feel a bit sort of nervous about using like an app or a site, what would you say? If someone sort of feels a little bit nervous, they've not done it before, maybe they're concerned about what people might think that they're using an app type thing. And any words of wisdom, Olga, for anyone who sort of might be a little bit sort of, apprehensive about using an app because the stigma around it, whatever?
I mean, I personally don't think there has been a stigma for a few years now, but I'd say if you are nervous to go on Plenty of Fish because someone will judge you on being on a dating app, don't be, because whoever will see you there is also on the dating app. And fundamentally, I think a dating app is a much better mathematical chance of meeting someone that you like because you're seeing everyone who's out there as opposed to anyone who happens to be at the night on that Friday.
Yeah, and absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, like you said, it's probably been a long time since there was a stigma. I think people have accepted now the internet is a big part of our lives, and if it can make things easier, then so be it type thing. But it's interesting. Really, the research is definitely interesting. That sort of our listeners have found interesting too. And in terms of sort of one final thing, I suppose, in terms of, say, maybe someone meeting up, if they feel a bit sort of nervous about sort of meeting someone for the first time, are there any sort of, tips you can give, Olga, if they're sort of, maybe they've joined the app type thing, they've arranged a date, they're excited to meet someone, but feel a bit nervous about it?
If you're nervous, remember that the other person is just as nervous as you. I think if this research shows anything, is that people are really excited about getting a new and very authentic and very real connection. And if you want one, chances are the person that you're going on a date with also wants it really badly. So you're on the same boat.
Yeah, and absolutely, absolutely, and I think that certainly, if there's one thing for sure, that over the last few years, that been highlighted. I think more and more people probably want that sort of genuine connection or find someone to connect with. Obviously, sort of like, it's a big part of a lot of people's lives, to be fair. But there we go. And if anyone wants to sort of see some more information, Olga, about what you do, maybe what the app's all about type thing as well, can you sort of direct them anywhere they can read more?
Yes, I urge everybody to go to the Plenty of Fish website and check out all of the dating trends, and then download the Plenty of Fish app and try the dating trend yourself. Why don't you message someone and just say, hey, do you want to go on a grocery run with me?
Absolutely, absolutely. Or I could message someone and ask them if they want to do my chores for me. I don't think that'll go down.
Absolutely.
I don't think it'll go down too well, but you can only try. Thanks for your time, Olga. It's been great speaking
Thanks
to
so
you.
much,
Have a
Jimmy.
great day, Gary. Thank you.